Welcome to another installment in my complete chronological rewatch, where I'll be going back through almost every Star Wars film and show as I work my way to the Rise of Skywalker. I've already gone through some of the movies, so be sure to check those out for yourself after this. Today we're going over the Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 18, The Zillo Beast. Set in 21 BBY, the Republic's new super weapon awakens the fearsome Zillo Beast of Malastare. Now the Jedi must devise a way to contain the deadly creature. I was surprised upon my rewatch how good this episode is. Although I still wouldn't consider it a favorite of mine, it's one that often goes unnoticed when I look back at the series. There's a lot in the opening montage that kicks off the episode. It briefly establishes the importance of Malastare as a source of fuel for the Grand Army of the Republic, but I was a little disappointed with how little of the culture we actually got to see. The episode fleshes out the Dugs beyond just Sebulba and the Phantom Menace, and we learn a little about the history when the Zillo Beast is revealed, but we don't really get to see the planet as a whole and the culture that lives there. It's pretty much just seen as a barren wasteland only important for the fuel it provides. The opening montage also introduces the electron-proton bomb, and it's worded in a way that makes it seem very unethical but necessary to win the battle. And maybe I'm just missing something here, but based on how they describe it as only affecting mechanized weapons, it doesn't seem all that bad. Obviously we all know what happens after it's dropped. It creates a sinkhole that awakens the Zillo Beast. But without these consequences in mind, if we just take what we know beforehand, it feels as though there was a side effect of the bomb that they weren't telling us. The opening montage also describes this battle on Malastare as one of the largest and fiercest battles in the war so far, and we actually get to see that here. There are massive armies on both sides, probably the most we've ever seen at once, and it includes both air and ground forces, making it feel even bigger. And something that may not always be recognized but is definitely felt is the fact that there are always multiple things in frame, whether it be Y-Wings, Vulture droids, Spider droids, or clones. It draws attention to the large scale of the battle without just constantly showing the action from a wide angle of the entire battle. The bomb gets dropped, and I liked the attention to detail with Anakin's mechanical hand. It's something that may be a given for some viewers, but I honestly don't think I would have questioned it if it had no impact on him. Something that I also found a bit amusing with how many times the treaty was brought up was how neither Windu or Skywalker are necessarily the ideal Jedi for political negotiations. They can both be a little headstrong, with a bit of darkness in them. The Zillo Beast is eventually revealed after the sinkhole opens up, and the way it's introduced to us with the screams and the music really establishes it as the Star Wars version of Godzilla. If you've seen the next episode, you already know what eventually happens to this creature, but because the beast is basically Godzilla, I would love for us to get more stories about it and really dive into the same tone and style as some of the Godzilla movies. We got a little in the Bad Batch, but it could have been used so much more. Although the action later on when the Jedi take out the Zillo Beast isn't anything remarkable, the pieces with Skywalker in the sinkhole are enjoyable, as he runs along the back of the beast. The big theme with this episode is the idea of morality, not only with the ethics of dropping the bomb, which was present at the beginning but felt very convoluted, but mainly the different approaches of how to deal with the beast. The Dugs have had a bad history with this species, so I feel like they're justified in their desire to kill the beast. But the Jedi see it as a unique life form, the last of its kind, so they want to save it. But then you go into the complexities of it was their bomb that disrupted it, that was dropped to save the Dugs from the Separatists, so the Jedi can have their fuel. It all goes back and forth. And then you have the stereotypical doctor whose first idea is to study the creature. And even though it's shown as a big, dangerous creature that causes large amounts of destruction, the eyes do a lot to give it some element of humanity, which I think makes the actions in the next episode much more impactful. And lastly, bringing this beast to Coruscant, the most populated planet in the galaxy, covered with skyscrapers and home to the capital of the Republic, it really is just about the worst idea possible. I understand that Palpatine wants the best research tools available for it, and probably wants to be present for the experimentation too. But unless he deliberately planned on unleashing it on the planet, you'd think the Grand Mastermind of the Clone Wars would be a little smarter than that. Let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below, and where it ranks among your favorite episodes. Remember to like the video, and subscribe to stay up to date with my chronological rewatch. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always.